The power rankings are out this week. As you know, Mayo are celebrating victory in the presidential campaign. They're celebrating the new movie with all the crappy accents. It's been the best week that Mayo have ever had. And it seems like it's written in the stars that ye are going to be celebrating, as we said, off Achill on COVID Island for the end of 2020. A COVID Christmas for all of Mayo.
Yeah, I wouldn't get that carried away just yet. Obviously, it's been a very, very good restart with the destruction of Galway. All right, we had a little relegation in there as well. But then, as comfortable a win as you can imagine against Roscommon at the weekend, I still haven't. I think Mayo will probably win the Connacht final, but they may end up getting to an All-Ireland final. But Dublin are going to beat every team by 10 points. Let's be honest about it. We can hype this up all winter long, but Mayo, unfortunately, right now, are still a long way behind Dublin. Mayo at their peak in 2016 and 2017 were obviously able to put it right up to them on a one-off occasion. But this is a side that's still somewhat in transition. It's incredible when you look at the team that played against Leitrim. I think 5 of the team that started the 2017 final started that game. You throw back in Diarmuid O'Connor, Kevin McLaughlin. Still, it's half the team gone from the last time Mayo reached an All-Ireland final. You could name that Mayo 1-15 straight off. The consistency of selection, that's not there right now. But the young players who've come in,
the Dubs have had a fairly similar level of turnover, though. Like it's not as pronounced. But the bulk of those Mayo players who you're talking about are still on the panel. They're still at training. They're still setting standards. They're the cavalry to come off the bench. The Dublin players have left. They've got a new manager. I actually think, of all the years, this is the one chance that somebody's going to have to catch the Dubs. When we go back to a league system or when we go back to backdoor, then Dublin will have an opportunity to lick their wounds and regroup if anybody does ever catch them. So this is the time, and the confidence that you see from Mayo last week, apart from that little period where they let Roscommon get 4 or 5 in a row, you're kind of thinking, okay, that's not great. They need to be able to interrupt this flow here somehow, and they didn't. So there's a bit of work for them to do. But I don't know, I think they're going to batter Galway at the weekend.
Yeah, the loss of Damien Comer is obviously huge for Galway. You'd have to expect there's going to be some sort of a response from the way Galway's league campaign ended. Right, they're going to be a bit rusty. Mayo have got 2 games under their belt in the championship already. But I guess there's a bit of fatigue potentially going to creep in for some of these Mayo players in the final 10 minutes of a Connacht final against Galway. And likewise, you have the freshness of a Galway side coming into it. I don't see Mayo hammering Galway. Remember, Mayo, first Connacht final in 5 years. Over the last 4 years, they've been beaten by Galway 3 times, generally tight games. But there's no question, compared to where Mayo were, say, the week before the Galway League game, like the confidence levels have totally flipped. Everyone would have thought Galway are coming in as the team, potentially one of those most likely to catch Dublin on the hop someday. Whereas now, Mayo, I think, would justifiably go in as favourites. And it's all come around very quickly. I think the amount of championship debutants to have, even compared to what the Mayo side probably would have been back in June, it has flipped. And we're not hearing much from the camp. It's been very quiet, which is very unusual for a Mayo team. Even the players you're talking about who are still around, who are still training, you have Keith Higgins on the bench, didn't make an appearance the last day. You've got Colin Boyle is still there. There's no real murmurings of discontent of, are they unhappy that they're not in the starting 15? Even the players who aren't making the 26, are they going to come back in over the next few weeks? I do wonder how much, and I don't know how much you can do this, how much Horan is planning for this sort of 3-game spell now of Connacht final on to reintroduce the likes of a Keith Higgins. Or are you happy actually just having him come on for the final 15, 20 minutes when Dublin are unloading their finishers and suddenly you have one of the best man markers in the country fully fit, even at, 36 at this stage, ready to rock. So they have that little bit of depth there as well. And it is exciting. And also I think the main thing for Mayo supporters is there was a sense this could be a long, grim transitional period.
Yeah, no.
But now you're looking towards next year thinking, if they can win a Connacht championship, the brilliant thing about the draw now is because it's an open draw, we know. It's much like the 2018 World Cup where suddenly a few teams go out and you're looking at it going, wow, one of these teams is most definitely going to reach the All-Ireland final. So for Mayo or Galway, whoever wins the Connacht final is going to be a raging hot favourite to reach the All-Ireland final, whether it's Cork or Tipperary.
Don't listen to Ger when he tells you that a county is destined to hammer another team in a big game, is all I'll say, Nathan. And to the people of Mayo in general, do not believe that you're winning this Galway game at a canter. Where do Galway rank in the teams that you dislike in terms of the Mayo GAA consciousness? Because it's obviously been a while since they've managed to get over the line themselves.
Yeah, you see, it depends what part of Mayo you're from. So where I was from in Ballyhonus is on, well, it's close to the border with Galway, but it's right on the border with Roscommon, and half my school would have been from Roscommon. We would have had probably more players in our school playing for the Roscommon Miners than the Mayo Miners. So the rivalry was always with Roscommon. But historically, Galway are the team in recent times that have, what happened in 96, 97, and then Galway pop up and win 2 All-Irelands. For that generation is always going to hurt. We've got our Super Value Roadshow coming up tonight with David Brady and Anthony Finnerty. Like, for Brady, having gone so close to All-Irelands in 96, 97, and then going down to Tuam Stadium and getting battered in 98, and Galway going on and winning an All-Ireland, is something that really does stick with those guys. So it depends what part of Mayo you're from. If you talk to people from Claremorris, from Ballinrobe, from down the south side of the county, like, Galway is the rivalry, unquestionably. We find enemies everywhere. Don't you worry about that. But let's be honest, Dublin is Mayo's rival.
Well, Trump is your rival at the moment, because if he somehow manages to obfuscate or get things to go to court or steal the election somehow, that would not be a good harbinger of Mayo's potential victory in 2020.
Listen, we'll worry about that if it happens. Like, the one player I think that we have to give a mention to, and you touched on him over the last couple of days, was Cillian O'Connor. Like, that is the main transformation for Mayo over the last few weeks. Like, Cillian O'Connor has just been hampered so badly by injuries over the last 5-6 years. He always seems to get it together just in time for championship, but rarely has had a full season of league and championship. He had long-running shoulder problems. Then he's had a knee problem for the last couple of years. But watching him over the last few weeks, he's looked as fit as he ever has. And he is that marquee forward. He is right up there in the top forwards in the country when he's fully fit and when he gets a run of games. So for all the new players that have come in, the thing that's been most exciting for me is actually seeing Cillian O'Connor back to his very, very best.
I think his brother looks fit as well. The two of them fully fit has not actually happened, I don't think, ever, at playing senior inter-county together. So that is a transformational moment. All right, so your confidence, you're bullish on John Ram, you're bullish on Mayo. Nathan, good stuff. Thanks a million for joining us this morning.
Thanks, lads.
A reminder, OTB AM live in association with Gillette. Good morning. Start with Gillette, giving you the confidence to tackle the day ahead.